Hi, I'm Carrim from Arctic Trucks. I'm here at SLM Toyota Norwich with the Hilux AT35, and I'm just going to take you through some of the features of this awesome vehicle. The Hilux AT35 is based on the standard Hilux Invincible X. It retains all the quality, durability and reliability that the legendary Hilux is known for, but it is a super high mobility version that is awesomely capable off-road. It sacrifices none of the daily drivability. As you can see, it's significantly taller and wider, so it's 13 centimetres wider than a standard Hilux and 6.5 centimetres taller, with 7.5 centimetres more ground clearance under the vehicle and a far lower centre of gravity than a standard Hilux. Okay, at Arctic Trucks, we take a ground up approach, so we're focusing on what the vehicle needs to do. Obviously, this needs to be super capable off-road without sacrificing any of the on-road drivability. So we start with decreasing the size of the wheel from the standard 18-inch Invincible X alloy to a 17-inch wheel, so we can maximise the size of the tyre. So this is a 35-inch tyre, that's where the name AT35 comes from, and it's far wider, so it's a 10-inch wide wheel. And obviously the tyre takes up most of that width. So in order to fit a big 35-inch tyre like this, we need to do quite a lot of work. That's actually where quite a lot of the value and the cost in an AT35 goes. So the obvious things I'll start off with are the Arctic Trucks Bilstein suspension. So it's a custom developed suspension with ourselves and one of the world's foremost suspension leaders, Bilstein. It was developed and optimized specifically for the AT35 to work with the vehicle and to work with these big 35-inch tyres. There's a 40mm lift at the front on Arctic Trucks Bilstein coilovers and a 20mm lift at the rear with Arctic Trucks dampers and extended shackles. Obviously, elevating the suspension isn't enough to make these big 35-inch tyres clear the bodywork. What we're trying to achieve is full turn lock to lock and full clearance under full compression and full extension on the shock absorbers under any conditions, so that the wheel is able to turn in every direction without contacting the bodywork. What we have to do then, in addition to the suspension lift, is re-engineer quite a lot of the chassis, the body and the bodywork. So we'll begin in this area here. In this position here where you can see the torch shining, that's where the standard Toyota body mount is. We completely remove that, take it back to bare metal and rust protect it back to Toyota OEM standards and install our own stronger body mount further back in this position here. This begins to create the clearance that we need to achieve for the wheel and tyre. Moving upwards slightly, we have a set of custom formed and fabricated panels. You can see one of those here with strengthening ribs. Again, that's taken back from metal, rust protected, back to OEM standards. And that continues on all the way around to the front of the vehicle. So from the headlight level all the way back, the engine bay is completely disassembled and re-engineered to allow clearance for this bigger wheel and tyre, including the body mount at the rear, which is moved back into its new position. So because it's got a larger 35-inch wheel and tyre, the gearing is affected. What we also do is we change the final drive front and rear, so there's a new crown wheel and pinion in both of the differentials. That's designed to compensate for the loss in low-speed torque that comes from fitting the larger tyre, but also it's designed to stop the vehicle hunting, with an automatic transmission vehicle at least anyway, hunting for gears at motorway speeds. It's slightly overcompensated as well, so what you find with the AT35 is, with the changes we've made to the gearing, it's awesome off-road, it gives the low-speed torque where it's required, but also for on-road driving, it actually gives it a little bit more torque at the pull-away stage, so it feels very responsive on the road. In addition to the tyre being a larger diameter, it's also far wider. To capture that width within the body and keep it legal and keep it safe, we obviously need to extend the bodywork. So we've got the Arctic Trucks flared wheel arches here, which they might look like an addition, but they're actually bonded onto the bodywork. So we first of all enlarge this panel by increasing the size of the opening, strengthen it back to give it its strength back, and then bond the Arctic Trucks flares on. These are all painted body colour and hand sealed so that there's no gaps in between the body and the bodywork, back to an OEM factory standard. Obviously that achieves the clearance for the wider wheel and tyre, but also there's a detail here as well which focuses on the tyre pressure. Obviously tyres and tyre pressure being so important to Arctic trucks and our philosophy, that's built into the design of the vehicle. This tyre pressure pocket, other than adding an interesting detail to the vehicle, is actually angled so that when you're adjusting your tyres and your tyre pressures, it's actually angled towards you so you can see the data and make sure you know what you're doing when it comes to using the correct pressures for the terrain. So coming away from the arches, we also have a different side step. Obviously the arches are wider. People are going off-road, they still need to be able to step up to the vehicle easily. So we also have an Arctic truck side step here. It's very much an additional detail. It's not really integral to the performance of the vehicle, but it's our own extruded aluminium side step, which consists of 3 parts: an extruded main aluminium section, a high grip rubber insert, and easy to replace Arctic trucks end caps, so that if they get damaged during off-road adventures, they're quite easy to replace, easy to clean, and easy to operate really with the wider vehicle. So the Hilux AT35 is a fully type-approved vehicle. One of the requirements of a type-approved vehicle of this type, which is raised suspension, is to fit what's called an underrun bar. This bar here prevents a vehicle going underneath it if it's hit from the rear in the event of an accident. We actually combine this underrun bar with what's called a 2-inch receiver, which is this piece here. Combined with the electrics, that will allow the customer to insert a tow ball and tow. It can also be used for steps, seats, gear carriers, recovery hooks, and many other accessories. I've talked about a lot of the other features of the AT35 now, the main ones. We finished the vehicle off with some special badging to mark it out as a special edition. So you've got the AT35 badging on the doors. Moving to the rear of the vehicle, you've also got the Arctic trucks and the AT35 badging on the tailgate, as well as the all-important and enlarged Arctic trucks mud flaps. So on top of all the other features I've talked about, it's really important to mention that the AT35 qualifies completely as a commercial vehicle with all the associated tax benefits. It will still tow 3.5 tons and the payload is 1,050 kilos. So even when you've added a canopy or other accessories on, it still meets the requirement as a tax efficient commercial vehicle. If you want to find out more about the awesome AT35, come and speak to the great team here at SLM Toyota Norwich.